Hey guys, it's Mia here, and welcome back once again to another show review. Now today I thought we'd talk about a little show called C Undercover. Now, C Undercover stars, of course, Casey. And her name is Casey Cooper. Now, Casey Cooper is an all-around good girl from a normal family. Well, at least she thought she was from a normal family. That is up until she gets kidnapped and thrown into a van and brought to a facility she has no idea where she is. And she has to work out how to get out on her own because no one else knows she's in there. At least that's what she thought at first. But it turns out her family was behind her abduction, and that is because they are spies, and they wanted to recruit Casey to the spy world because she is smart and because she is clever and because she has the ability to be a great spy. And that's where the show starts. And this show is kind of all about having to balance a double life, being a teenager in high school and a spy that she can tell no one about. Now, the characters consist of Casey, Casey's mom, Casey's dad, Casey's brother, and Judy, their home human-like robot. And together they make up this family of spies, even including her brother Ernie. When they notice his ability with computer skills, he becomes the guy in the van, the one that does all the surveillance and all of that technical stuff. Now, as a show, it's a pretty neat idea to have this family of spies where also this teenager is trying to not only figure her way out of school and what she wants to do with the rest of her life and figure all that out, but now she has to lead a double life as a spy. And it's kind of interesting trying to see her balance those two things as she does. But there's this running joke that they do with the brother Ernie that really kind of gets on my nerves. And that's, they find it really funny to belittle him and talk down on him and constantly throw shade his way. And that kind of ticks me off because no one deserves to be treated that way. He's kind of ignored. And it gets really frustrating. I mean, they do tone it down in later seasons because there are 3 seasons of this show, but in the first season it got really annoying because there are people that go through that and it's not played as a joke. It's sad. But that was one thing that made me kind of angry with the show was the treatment of Ernie. And then on top of that, Ernie being the van guy and her parents kind of serving as both her parents and her higher-up officers, which kind of gets them into all sorts of shenanigans. It's kind of cool to see this family bond together, but Casey herself really gets under my skin a lot of times in this show because she's very self-centered and very, I'm extremely smart, so I'm better than everyone else and nobody else's opinion should matter. And when something doesn't go her way, she oftentimes tries to force it to go her way and gets her family into danger. And as the main character, that's not something you want to do. She's not in spying to protect people. She's in spying because it makes her look good and she enjoys doing it. Once in a while, she'll do it to save people without wanting thanks for it, but she's very okay, I saved you, you should be grateful, yada yada yada. And it gets very, very, very annoying and very grating to me because I hate people that do a good deed and sit there and say, okay, now pat me on the back. If you do a good deed, walk away and finished taking care of it. Don't sit there and feel like you need praise for that good deed, or else it becomes more you did it for attention than for the good deed itself. And that's oftentimes what Casey does, and it could lead her family into serious trouble. But other than that, the issues I have with Casey, the show is really well done. I mean, it's cheesy because it's a Disney Channel original show, so it's cheesy as all hell. But it's a good show all the same. The fight choreography was surprisingly well done, although there are a lot of people getting flipped on their backs, which gets a little old. But other than that, I loved the fight choreography. There was laser guns in use because they didn't want to use actual guns because it is a younger show. And the whole family dynamic is really cool, and I like that Judy, the youngest member of the group, is made a robot because she has all these technical abilities that she can do to help further the team, and they use that to their advantage many times on missions. She's very snarky, very sarcastic, but even as a robot, she learns to develop feelings and actually starts to see the Coopers as her family, and I thought that was really cool too. My favorite arc would probably have to be with, not Zane, Zane's son. I'm completely blanking on his name. But my favorite arc was with him because Casey kind of has a crush on him, and there's this whole dynamic that goes on through the show. And my least favorite side characters of the whole show are probably there's their neighbors, and they constantly come over to the house screaming. Petey and Petey's mom is their names. So they are so loud and obnoxious, and they walk in without being invited, and they're constantly screaming, and I don't know what's wrong with them, but it's annoying as all heck, and sometimes they bring those characters in multiple times in one episode, and it's like nails on a chalkboard listening to them screaming their voice out. And I know that was probably intentional, but why they added that, I have no idea because it was not needed. Everyone knows that we have an annoying neighbor that we have to deal with. You don't have to shove that in the show every 5 minutes. That was my problem with it, and they get really, really insufferable. Although it is kind of cute that Petey has a crush on Judy. But that part's cute. But the rest of it, they could have cut them out entirely. So, it's a struggle for Casey to balance her life as a teenager and a spy. I mean, being a teenager in high school is already hard enough for some people, but then she has this being a spy on top of it, and she's like, I can't tell anyone, you guys raised me not to keep secrets or tell lies, and here I am keeping the biggest secret of my life, and I cannot tell anyone. And her family's like, well, you know us, you know how we work. And she goes, that's not the same. No one in school knows that I'm leading this double life, and I feel like I'm trying to be 20 different people when I don't even know who I am yet. How am I supposed to go undercover as people and play them right when I don't even know who I am myself? And this kind of shows that the show is about finding yourself, reaching your goals even though it might be hard and challenging, and balancing two worlds at the same time. They go on about identity and finding yourself and standing up and fighting for the good fight and being who you are and trying to find out who you are. And that's mainly what the show is about. Finding out who you yourself are as a person when you're in that most vulnerable point in your life when it comes to your identity. And that's kind of cool, and as corny as it is, it's a good watch, and I highly recommend it if you have Disney Plus. You might as well watch it because it's on there and you can watch the full series. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, guys!